Hello, 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 everybody. It's Tori. Back from the dead. Haha. Back from surgery. I'm still recovering, so I'm not fully back yet. About 1 week out from post-op. We could go today. Today is kind of the first day I've actually had enough energy to even think about doing a reading. I was wanting to do it yesterday and it just wasn't happening. Yesterday was not a good day. So for those of you that might not know, I have, or I should say had now, endometriosis. And so I had a hysterectomy at age 38. I'm 51 now. And they took everything except for the ovaries and stuff like that. So endometriosis started growing with some ovarian cysts and some other types of cysts that are tied in with the endometriosis. So last Thursday was the surgery day to have all that removed. I'm sore. I am tired. Not gonna lie. Just getting on my feet. For my day job, for those of you that know that I have a day job, I am actually out of my day job until July 10th. I go back on the 11th, I think it is. And that's that. So I'm not able to drive. I'm not able to do much of anything other than try and rest and take the downtime to get better. So that's what I'm trying to do. There's a lot I want to talk about, which I will do when we bring in the Facebook people. And then afterwards, what I'm going to do is do more of an in-depth reading for the summer solstice. So today is actually the summer solstice. And we'll talk about that. So give me a sec. I need to do a couple things here, so bear with me. So I hope everybody is good. Just gonna get everybody set up here. Put that there. And share it on my personal page. It's funny trying to do all this stuff in order to be able to in order to be able to try and do all the social media that you want and need to do is, let's say, complicated to some degree. So I'm going live on Facebook on the Avalon Enchanted page, and now I am trying to share the link onto my personal page. So that's what I'm attempting to do. Oh, yes, I know, I saw. We'll see who shows up. If you're catching this as a replay, please do hashtag replay. That helps us out tremendously. Oh, and I want to copy the link. my page. So I'm doing better. Still a lot going on. Yesterday was not a great day. Today is better. So that's good. I don't want to do it to crystal. Do I want to do it to crystal intentions? Yeah, we'll do it to crystal intentions. Post. All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and get everybody and everything started. All right. So this week, for those of you who don't know, I'm Tori with Avalon Enchanted. I'm just going to move this so you guys are able to see this stuff. Carefully putting it onto the keyboard. I am one of the owners of Avalon Enchanted, which is a small psychic studio in Wickford, Rhode Island. And we basically offer readings. We also offer one-on-one personal coaching, energy healing, and different events. We're located at 24 Brown Street in Wickford, Rhode Island, which is diagonally across the street from J.W. Graham. And we've been there for about a year, but Avalon Enchanted has been around a lot longer than that. But we've been in the Wickford location for a year as of technically April. So every week, Cindy and I bring forward the Ascended Illuminations weekly reading. And so when I do that, or when Cindy does that, we like to bring in not only a tarot deck. We basically do 3 readings with 1 tarot deck. But before that, we will use maybe some oracle cards or maybe some crystals, things like that. And based upon which oracle card or crystal or seashell or whatever it is that we use, we do a reading for each, and that's your reading. So I am shuffling right now the Ancestral Oracle of the Celts in honor of Summer Solstice. For those of you who may have seen, there were some sort of protesters which actually spray painted some of the monoliths there at Stonehenge. I want to say it was yesterday. So they kind of have an orange tint now on some of them. Hopefully that will come off. Hey, Cindy. So let's see what we got. We got the gilly. This is the gilly. That's A. I'm going to cut the deck in the middle. We got the initiator. That's B. And we got the bottom of the deck. Ooh. Lord of Life. That's C. So this particular deck is a deck that was designed by Caitlin Matthews, who is an amazing, she and her husband, John Matthews, they are amazing authors, and they do a lot in terms of different tarot decks, oracle decks, books, children's books, you name it. So they've been one of my favorite authors for quite a while. So I like to use their stuff, especially today. So we're going to start out with A and look at the reading for the gilly. And before I get into that, I'm going to explain what the gilly is. Sorry, I know I keep clearing my throat. I'm a little congested. With the surgery, they put down a breathing tube, and I've been trying to work on getting through all of that. Just a lot of stuff coming up. I guess while I was under and in the surgery, here's the Gilly. While I was in the surgery, I guess one of the assistant surgeons there, residents, cut himself. So I'm a little alarmed with that, not gonna lie. So the Gilly is focused on, I guess, serving. The Gilly is the servant of all. Before an untried boy can aspire to be a warrior, he must serve the older men, running errands, picking up knowledge as best as he can. He has not earned the right to the weapon of manhood yet, but he has his sling, which he can bring down small game. It's only by being attentive and obedient in service that he will learn the ways of manhood. And in Celtic legend, Luch Lothgeth is denied a name, arms, or a human wife by his mother, but his uncle Gwydion helps him to achieve all of these things. And Lil finally wins his adult name from his nimble handiness with the sling when he successfully kills a wren. And his mother, not knowing her own child, comments, "With that, a skillful hand and young lion has killed it." Lou breaks through the gaze, the restrictive taboos set upon him to, hey there, to win through the man's estate. So the other thing I want to mention about Lou Lagius is that he was, if you're familiar with the Celtic, the Mabinogi, one of the branches of the Mabinogi. If you're familiar with Blodeuwedd, who I like to work with, she's not here in this room, but she is considered a land sovereignty goddess. And she was actually turned into an owl. So she was created by, in this case, she was created by Gwydion and in the spring, and was created to be the wife. And she decides that she does not want to be she falls in love with another person, and she decides that she does not want to be Gillian or Lou's wife, I should say. So she tries to do everything she can in order to get rid of him. When they find out what she was doing, the uncle Gwydion and turned her into an owl, which I guess was her true form. So with that being said, we're doing the Gilly. So let's see what the reading is. So this is a deck I haven't used in a very long time. I usually keep a lot of my decks downstairs, in like a backpack or a suitcase, and I bring stuff upstairs with me when I am getting ready to do any types of these readings, etc. However, I'm not able to carry anything heavier than 5 pounds. So I had to kind of look through what decks I have up here. And I have these. And I thought these are really pretty. These are the Art Nouveau Tarot. The Art Nouveau Tarot. So if you've chosen the Gilly, it's all about basically putting in your work and putting in the time and the energy and learning the ropes and not rushing things. We have the Ace of Pentacles, covered by the Emperor, and ahead of us, the Lover. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, Three of Cups. We have the Seven of Wands, Five of Wands, and Three of Pentacles. One thing I do want to say about wands is that wands are technically the element of fire, which is really interesting because stuff has been coming up a lot in my feed this week about, hey Pamela, about fire and rebirth and regeneration and things like that. So that I find super duper interesting. Pamela, we're on the first one, so it's the Gilly. Okay. The second one, or B, is the Initiator. And then the third one, C, is Lord of Life. I'm doing okay. I have good days and bad days. Yesterday was not a good day. I get tired really easily. I've been in the house for a week. Like can't even, like the dog goes to daycare. Because I really can't handle the dog by myself, especially with still having all the stitches and stuff in. So, because she's just all energy. Let's get back to this. So we have a lot of wands, but wands are also creative. They're also working on creative new concepts and new ideas, which I find very, very interesting. So if you have selected the Gilly, which interestingly enough, we're looking at almost like a slingshot. So it looks like an arrow. I guess you could call that a wand. I don't know. We just have a lot of symbolism, which I kind of feel is kind of jumping off at me. If there's some things that you've been wanting to try and to maybe things that you've been kind of fearful about taking a leap of faith on, there's a lot that, is saying, hey, there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of, I'm going to use the word pleasure, behind this in terms of creation. You may not necessarily see everything going on. I mean, look at this card. This is the Three of Cups, right? But look at the stars. They're celebrating, but they're not necessarily seeing everything all at one time. So to me, this is, again, giving yourself the opportunity to take the time and to move forward with your leap, or move forward with your plans. I think that there's been a lot that's happened. Behind us is the Ten of Wands, which is about carrying the world on your shoulders. But there's also the Ten of Pentacles. So it may very well be that there's been a change in something and you're looking to figure out what your next chapter is. Here's one thing which I do find really interesting. This is actually the Three of Pentacles, but to me, she really kind of looks like almost like the Empress. I mean, you have fall leaves, you have the bird. So I find that really, really interesting. The Five of Wands, you have more summary stuff. But here's the thing, look at the castle or the large stuff going on in the background. It looks like it's another wand to some degree. So there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of things that are gonna grow and sprout and explode. I feel that it's gonna happen in a good way. There are going to be some things that are going to challenge you this coming week. But I do feel like you're ready for the challenge. And you may find that there are things that you see come more to fruition in the fall. I feel like here with the Seven of Wands, again, I'm looking, one of the things that's really drawing my eye is stuff in the background and looking at all the flowers and things like that. There's just a lot of abundance there. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background, which I think in the long run, that's the cat. That's Owen. It's about taking some risks, but knowing when to take them. Okay. Taking some risks, but knowing when to take them. In the personal house, I should say in the family house, we have the Ace of Swords. Again, we have the moon. trust your instincts, trust your gut. You're being divinely guided. And there's a lot that the ancestral energy can help with, is what I'm hearing. With the Three of Cups, like I said, I know I already talked about that. We had the stars, we had the, gathering together. So there's a lot here. It's all about, yeah, you know what you need to do. You need to kind of go through the timing of it. Yes, it's a leap of faith, but there's also things that you need to do in order to kind of earn your way up to that. Okay. So that's kind of where I am with the Gilly. So that's the Gilly. Let's take a look at the Initiator, B. Oops. Let's see what we got going on for that. So I know that a lot of people will watch us on replay, which is great. I always say do hashtag replay. Usually the next day or so. I also try and get up the Facebook reading onto YouTube because I'm also recording it on Zoom. And when I do that, we also add in extra content. So there's actually going to be a special Summer Solstice reading to kind of talk a little bit more about maybe some of this overarching energy and what to expect in the next couple months as we roll in from Summer Solstice all the way up to, honestly, I'm thinking Fall Equinox. But there's a lot that's going on. I think there's a lot that's going to be going on that people are going to need to be aware of. Ooh, put that to one side. All right, so the Initiator. Let's read what the Initiator is all about. It sounds very ominous, the Initiator. Almost there. Ooh, Mark's home. I can hear him yelling at the dog. All right, so the Initiator is the mistress of shapeshifting. She's known by her cauldron, which alchemically changes whatever is put into it. She initiates seekers after knowledge into the wider reality that unites our world with the other world. And her initiatory changes bring in what is potential into a creative state once more. So Caradwyn, who is another Welsh goddess. Hi, I'm on the I'm on a live. Okay. So Caradwyn is a shapeshifter, and she's actually brewing up, as you can see in her cauldron, the Awen for her son there in her cauldron, in which she's brewing the drink of knowledge. Okay. But so she actually sets a young boy by the name of Gwydion to tend to her cauldron, in which she's brewing this drink. But she receives it all, but he receives rather all its wisdom when the 3 drops spill out upon his hand. And she chases him through a series of shape-shifting changes, such as a greyhound to a hare, to an otter, to a fish, to a falcon, to a bird, and then a hen that eats up the grain and the wheat in which he hides. So 9 months later, Gwydion is reborn of her as the poet Taliesin. So there is, to some degree, almost like an immaculate kind of conception, but there is a need for, I'm going to say, kind of going with things, welcoming the next phases. Whatever seemed dormant begins to move rapidly, and whatever outcome, be sure that it will involve change. So to me, this is definitely about taking control, literally taking the bull by the horns or taking the cauldron by the handles and initiating the change. Okay. Being part of things is better than standing aside. So a move to a place, a job, or a connection of life is being heralded. So these are some things to think about if you've chosen V. So let's see what we got. Ugh. All right. All right. Well, got a lot of wheels, I'm gonna say. I mean, we have the Wheel of Fortune. We also have some interesting things in terms of some of the imagery. One of the things that showed up here is the Hanged Man, but he's hanged, and there's another wheel behind him. Okay. And then there's the Knave of Wands, who also seems to have almost like a one of those Chatra Cathedral rose windows behind him. So let's see what we got going on. So we have the Seven of Swords. We have the Devil card, Queen of Swords. Behind us is the Emperor and the One of Pentacles. I should say the Ace of Pentacles. There may have been some things that you have been trying to work through, maybe to break away from something, or maybe to break away from something to go towards something. There's a lot of, I'm going to say there's a fair amount of eyes that are watching the movement. Okay. It's also going to be one of those things where you may find that there are going to be people that are not what they seem. Hey, Sarah. They're not what they seem. Okay. So these are the people that might be kind of watching from afar. These are the people that might be in your normal everyday kind of, I'm going to say business, but sometimes they don't always have the best intent. We got the Three of Swords. Okay. So we've got a lot of swords, like I said. What I'm going to say is be careful. There's literally a break that maybe you've been trying to make or been thinking of making, or maybe have just made. Just know that there are people that are kind of keeping an eye out. Some are keeping an eye out as a way of, literally because they're there to support you. And then there's some people that are keeping an eye out to see if and when you're going to fail. Okay. So just know that. Like I said, some of these people don't necessarily have the best interest at heart. Okay. Literally, we're kind of in a whole new ball game. Okay. You know a lot more than you think you do. We got the Queen of Wands. She has a lot more magic. She keeps things kind of close to her vest. So you are aware that there are individuals that are kind of watching to see if you're going to flop or soar. Okay. What I'm going to say is you may really find yourself having to rely on yourself through this process. There are going to be some things that pop up that are going to be almost trying to throw a monkey wrench into some of the things going on for you. Okay. We have the Six of Swords, which is always about, excuse me, moving out of choppy water into clear sailing. And again, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is a whole new cycle beginning, but it's up to you in terms of what you do next. This guy is hanging here, but is he hanging here because he wants to? Is it out of fear? Is it a different perspective? So he has a lot more ability than we think he does, I feel. Okay. It's up to you in terms of how you're going to do it. Because I feel like there's a lot more with this new cycle opening for you that you can work with. It's just a matter of really, I'm going to say, putting the big girl panties on and doing what you need to do. Really trusting your gut, so on. I pull another card and I get the King of Cups. So you do have people who are definitely in your corner and are there to support you. Don't be afraid to rely on those people. The people that you know that you can trust. I'm going to say, don't be afraid. The people that are just like, yeah, trust your gut on those people. Okay. There was another card that flew out, which is the King of Pentacles. Okay, King of Pentacles. Trying to see what insight I can get off of that. Queen of Cups. There may very well be a new pairing or a new grouping or a new something that comes out of this. It could very well be business-wise or it could be relationship-wise. So just be aware of that. And you do you. But the biggest thing that jumps out to me is don't allow yourself to throw away because you're not sure if you're making the right move or not. And you're sitting there hemming and hawing, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? Don't allow yourself to just kind of sit there and, for lack of a better word, flounder. Okay. Because I feel like this potentially means that you could kind of flounder if you don't take control of the situation. All right. And I kind of feel that's where this is coming in. You know, she's all about shape-shifting. She's the initiator. She's the one that is literally making the changes. This is you having that ability to make the changes that give you the new opportunities. You know, there's a lot of great things here. Like I said, Six of Swords is actually a positive card. Wheel of Fortune is all about new beginnings. You know, Two of Wands. You know, that is a good card, bringing together. So don't pass up opportunities because you're unsure of whether or not it's the best decision for you. Okay. I'm not saying don't just go, you know, knee-jerk reaction and be like, hey, let's go. No. I use your discernment. Use your discernment. Okay. So that's it for the initiator. And how is everyone doing with all this heat here in Rhode Island? We have it. This is, I guess, day 2 of a 3-day heat wave. Like I said, since I haven't left the house, I've been living in AC for a week, which could be one of the reasons as to why I'm all stuffy. All right, so we're going to take a look at the Lord of Life, which is 3. All right. One more card that was hanging out. The 3 or C, Lord of Life. Okay. Okay, so the Lord of Life. What needs to be set free? What strongly impels you? What inspires you here? Where does this lead you? Things like that. The Lord of Life governs the growing influence of the sun as every plant and tree becomes clothed in green and the sap rises. On his right shoulder, you can see, on his right shoulder is a man, and on his left, a dancing woman, while beneath her, horseman rides away. They are the same figures who appear in the Lady of Life card. but now the male figure is ready to move forward. So the Lord of Life does not coerce our search for experience, but leaves us free to seek it out. In childhood and young adulthood, we're still formulating how our life purpose will unfold. He gently teaches us how to recognize what attracts us and how to be of service. How can we follow our skills and gifts? So it's all about determining, rediscovering anew, bringing in our life purpose, really kind of finding out what it is that we want to focus on, that we need to focus on, things of that nature. So let's see what comes up for C. This is interesting. All right. All right, so let's see. It's interesting because we have the 10 of wands, but we also have the 10 of pentacles. We also have the 9 of wands. All right, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on. I understand, Mark. There's a lot that's going on that maybe you're trying to kind of figure some things out. One of the things, though, that I do want to talk about, though, that is showing up here is the Tower card. So there may be some shakeups this week. We have the 8 of Swords, which emotionally can kind of be a little bit overwhelming. So we may find that there's stuff that's going on that we might not necessarily be fully privy to, or that someone's trying to get more information on you. I pulled another card and I got the King of Cups. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff that we got here. We got the Queen of Swords, we got the Fool, we got the Star, we got the 4 of Cups. So there's a lot that is good. I mean, the Star is all about hope. The 4 of Cups is, I like to call it the woohoo party card for those of you that know me. There's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to be proud of, and a lot to kind of take in. We'll look at the Lord of Life again. Yeah, okay, so that makes a lot of sense. I'm seeing a lot in terms of whatever, maybe what was going on, literally just kind of the focus on setting something free, moving forward, lightening the load, not necessarily carrying what, you no longer need to carry, what is either not yours or what you don't need to be carrying. That's probably why we have the Tower card here in stuff that's coming up. It's kind of like liberating yourself or liberating the situation in order to really find and understand yourself. So there may be some things that change, that push you out of your comfort zone. But I feel in the long run, this push, this change, this shift is going to be a good thing. All right. There may not necessarily be some people around you that are supportive of you and gung-ho about what it is that you want to do or what you feel like you need to set in motion or not set in motion. But I feel like this is your journey, not theirs. And there's a lot to learn. The Queen of Swords, I always say, swords can either cut you or protect you. And they're very intellectual. So now is the time for you to really take the handle of the sword and forge your way. You know, there's a lot more that you can do that you don't necessarily realize or fully think you're capable of doing or handling. So those are some things to think about with this, with the Lord of Life. It's like this is a whole new, excuse me, this is a clean slate that's giving you another chance. How are you going to take this chance? You're going to let it pass you by? But again, discernment does need to happen. We have the Knight of Wands. So, you know, I would say proceed, plan, but proceed and plan cautiously is what I would say. Okay. So proceed and plan cautiously. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. All right. So that is it for the ABC reading. Couple things I wanted to mention. Cindy is in studio actually right now. She's in studio. She's also on with us. She is there doing readings tonight with the Harbor Fire. Probably till about 7. So if you're looking for a reading, definitely check that out. Cindy will be there offering mini readings. I believe they are $40, Cindy. Let me know if that's the case. That's one thing. Second thing, Cindy has a couple of activities and circles that are posted that she's very excited about. So I would say definitely check those out on Eventbrite. I have some things that I've started posting for some events going on in July. I still need to take the June off. I mean, I'm 1 week out of post-op, so I'm not I'm not doing anything until probably the last, the very last week of June, the very last few days of June and into July before I even start to take individual clients. Okay, so Cindy says she's doing 15 minutes for $30 tonight. So definitely hit her up or hop in there. It's kind of fun. It's kind of like Water Fire. Harbor Fire has food trucks, all the shops are open, there's live entertainment, so it's fun and it's good for the entire family, which is nice. Couple things that I wanted to mention. After this, I'm gonna hop off and I'm gonna do another reading on the summer solstice through well, until the fall equinox, because there's stuff energetically speaking that I feel needs to be addressed. But one of the things that I wanted to mention is that I have put out with Muhammad a class on ancient Egyptian priests and priestesses on July 14th, which is a Sunday at 2 p.m. on Zoom. Muhammad, for those of you that might not know, Muhammad is a Egyptologist based in Luxor, Egypt. And he and I have paired together to create monthly classes for people who have an interest in ancient Egypt, in some of the ancient culture, as well as some of the ancient Egyptian mysticism. So we're going to talk a lot about the different cults, because each of the different gods and goddesses had their own priests and priestesses and what their role in looked like, and some of the things that would have happened, whether it be at Karnak Temple or at Edfu or at what's with the other one, Luxor. So we're gonna do that on the 14th, on the 20th. So for those of you that might not know, in ancient Egypt, the ancient Egyptian New Year is actually the 19th of July on our calendar. And that is when their calendar starts. I mean, now they obviously use a modern calendar. The Coptic Christians use something modified that still kind of works off of one of the older calendars. But it's technically the 19th of July. So that being said, because we actually have a full moon, I believe on the 21st. So with the 19th being the new year and the 21st being the full moon, I think it's the buck full moon, we are going to have an in-person amazing ceremony that is actually not in the studio. It's actually going to be held in Jamestown. It's going to be a Blue Lotus cacao pyramid ceremony. So for those of you that know, I have a 15 by 15 foot bubble tent, which has our 8 foot by 8 foot custom copper pyramid in it. And this is going to be an opportunity to focus on bringing in new things, bringing in changes for the year, bringing in balance and things like that. So we're going to also tie in more information about working with the star Sirius, and why the New Year celebration is in the middle of July, because there's a lot of really interesting information for those of you that know. The Egyptian culture is very much tied in. It's a sun cult, as you know, but they're also super tied into the stars, and they're tied in especially with the star Sirius. So we're going to focus on that. We're going to focus on bringing in new things and new creations and things of that nature into our world. And so that's going to be an in-person ceremony in the bubble tent outside in the Copper Pyramid on Saturday, July 20th from 7 to 9. What I'm going to say is that the event, like I said, is not in studio. It's actually on Jamestown. So we are using that and tying in the full moon energy as well. So I think it's going to be very powerful. And I also think it's going to kick off a lot of great stuff that's going to open up for a lot of people for the month of July and August and so on. So that's up. The priests and priestesses on July 14th is up. And Muhammad and I are also doing a very, very, very special Sekhmet ceremony on 8/8. All right, that's also up on Eventbrite. So Muhammad is going to be coming to us live from Luxor, and he is going to be bringing in a lot of different elements that ties in with Sekhmet. He's going to be showing us a lot of great information about the actual temple there at Karnak, as well as some of the details about his connection with Sekhmet as well. So we're going to be celebrating the 8/8 Lionsgate portal with Muhammad live from Luxor, Egypt. So that one, I encourage you to make sure that you get tickets for that one. If you're in the Rhode Island area, I also encourage you to get tickets for the July 20th event. I think that's going to be really, really big. And if you have a really interesting, if you have an interest in ancient Egypt, finding out more about the priests and priestesses in July is also going to be great. Like I said, Cindy also has a healing circle, as well as some other things that are going on with her. Cindy, if you're still on, go ahead and drop those in. You can drop the link in for Eventbrite as well. So that's kind of like what's going on for the rest of June, for July, for what's going on with me, for what's going on with this week. Like I said, you're going to want to definitely make sure that you, hold on. Hi, folks. So this is the special content for the people who are checking our readings out on YouTube. Like I had said earlier, I add more content to our YouTube readings whenever I'm doing any type of, thing online that I'm also sending up to YouTube. We usually add more content to it. Couple things I want to mention. If you're in the Rhode Island area, the event on July 20th is going to be really quite special. It's a cacao ceremony utilizing the full moon, utilizing the Egyptian New Year, ancient Egyptian New Year, utilizing also the blue lotus. So it's going to be very powerful and it's going to be very special, which you're not going to want to miss. The event is on Eventbrite for that. The Zoom class on the 14th, excuse me, the event on the 14th is going to definitely have a lot of cool stuff. Muhammad, for those of you who might be wondering, is an actual Egyptologist. He's going for his doctorate, but he's an Egyptologist. And he actually is also very spiritual. So he comes at it very differently than, say, maybe some of the other Egyptologists that you might have heard or seen or run into. Okay. He and I both work very closely with Sekhmet, which then leads me into our Sekhmet 8/8 ceremony. So for those that are going to be joining us with that, it's going to be because, all right, here it is, folks. We are doing it on 8/8, which technically is a Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern time. I know there's a time difference. It's going to be a little bit rough, but I really feel like this is going to be something super huge that Sekhmet wants us to bring forward. Okay. It's going to be on 8/8. So literally we're going to be starting, so literally he's going to be starting at midnight, his time in Luxor. So we're going to be catching the actual 8/8 energy, the portal of the 8/8 energy. And for those of you that know, the portal starts to open up before it gets bigger. I tend to feel it closes a little bit after 8/8, but the energy continues to ramp up. I feel like things continue to ramp up all the way probably until the end of the year, the 12/12 portal. Okay. So what's planned is Muhammad is going to be bringing forward to us some very special videos of Karnak Temple. And we're going to also have some really amazing opportunities to connect with Sekhmet, to connect with Ptah, to connect with Nefertum, her son. Ptah is her husband. There in the chapel in Karnak. And energetically speaking, this is work that she wants done. She's been steering the ship on this. So she was the one that's like, no, you need to do this. No, you need to do this on 8/8. Because initially I'm like, Muhammad, you're going to be killing yourself and the time frame is going to be awful for you. It's like, no, I got to do it then. All right, I get it. I get it. So we're going to start at 5 because, oopsies, we're going to start at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Then it kind of goes until it goes. All right. That one is going to be, I think, really quite powerful. So definitely sign up for that. Some other things. like I had talked about with the bubble tent, once I'm able to start to see people in person, I'm probably going to be offering the readings inside the bubble tent for a little bit once I'm able to drive. So you might find that the first, 2 weeks of July, I'll be available for in-person readings, but they won't be necessarily at the studio. Okay. It's only 15 minutes further from the studio. All right. That's one thing. Um, I'm also going to be available for those pyramid experiences. So we have a lot of cool stuff that's coming in that we want to use this pyramid for. Cacao ceremonies, empowerment ceremonies, healing, just healing sessions. So that's going to be really, really special as well. And those things are definitely moving forward, full steam ahead. Couple things I'm waiting on, but they're for the most part ready to go with just a few things that I'm waiting on. So if people are interested in booking something like that, let me know. What else? I think that's it. So let's talk about the reading. Like I said, I'm going to pull a different set of cards. So give me a second. Ow. So I am really sore. I think I'm hitting the wall. So with that being said, let's take a look and see. So for this, I'm using the Guardian of the Night Tarot. This is a reading for the summer solstice up through, I'm going to say, fall equinox. Okay. There's just a lot that's coming in that I feel people need to be prepared for. There's a lot of energy that's going to feel a little on the overwhelming side. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that I feel is going to happen in some of the developed countries that is going to kind of, I'm going to use the word grab headlines. And I feel like this energy has the ability to be harnessed in a number of different ways. So with that being said, this energy can be used for good. It can be used for bad. All right. So definitely make sure that you're really super duper protected when you're going out in public. Really make sure you're bubbling up. When you are starting your day, making sure you're clearing yourself, clearing your home, clearing yourself after you come home, from the day of work. Those are going to be some things that you really need to focus on. All right. So this is something that I feel is going to be a lot that is going to be unexplainable. I'm just going to say it like that. It's going to be a lot that's unexplainable. But I feel like there's just going to be people that might not necessarily be doing things. And what I mean by that is doing certain things, being responsible for certain conversations on their own. It's going to be coming from a different place. Question is, what place is it going to be coming from? So those are some things that you need to know about. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me go through this reading here. We got the Page of Swords covered with the Page of Pentacles. So to me, we have definitely have some stuff that is going to be kind of interesting to work through. Ahead of us is the Moon card. So like I said earlier, we're not going to necessarily be seeing everything in its true light. So just be advised by that. That's why I'm saying clear yourself. That's why I'm saying clear your home. Really practice your discernment, really practice making sure that you are trusting your gut. You're proceeding with caution. Okay. I'm pulling another card and I got the King of Wands. So it's interesting because the King of Wands in this deck is a lion. So going into the Leo season, we're going to find that there may be some things that pop in that's going to be, I want to say, coming in like a lion, energetically speaking, that may very well kind of force your hand. What I am going to say is don't let it leave you paralyzed. Okay? Don't let it leave you paralyzed. If I pull another card on that, we got the Nine of Swords. So this is kind of like you have the ability to kind of figure out what energy you want to have around you. And if you are focusing on the negative and being scared about figuring out how to move forward on things, then you're going to give that energy. You're going to give that the energy and the time that it needs. Don't do that. Knight of Swords. I want to talk about this. A very ugly fish. I'm just going to say that. So the Knight of Swords is rushing into things. So what to me, what this is saying is don't rush into things. Don't feel like you have to, like this is the last time around. I mean, obviously don't wait. As long as it's something that is in your highest and best and is something that you want to do, that's fine. But if it's not, don't go in guns blaring. Okay. Seven of Cups. Our mind is working overtime. There's a lot. It's a lot. And you're going to kind of have to really utilize your, I'm going to say, BS meter and determine what's real, what's not, what's feasible, what's not, what's in your highest and best, and what's not. Okay. So keep that in mind. In the personal house, we got the Magician. Trust your gut. You got a lot more power than you think. Trust your gut. Utilize your tools. Utilize your experiences, your past experiences, to help you through this time period. Okay. Strength. I know this looks super ominous, but this strength card is all about you believing in yourself. Again, if you give something power that doesn't need to have power or shouldn't have power, that's important to know. Now, ahead of us, we have the Chariot, but it's the Badger. Or is that a skunk? No, that looks like a badger. And badgers can be kind of aggressive. I mean, look at the meat hooks, not gonna lie. But this is forward movement. So we may have to channel our inner strength in order to keep on moving. 8 of Cups. What I'm going to say with the 8 of Cups is there's more coming for you if you believe in yourself. Okay? There's more coming for you if you believe in yourself. Sometimes I think ultimately this time period is going to challenge us in terms of what we're made of, what we think we're made of, and what spirit knows we're made of. Okay? So that's something that's super important. So to me, this is the screw it, I'm out of here card. So it's a matter of looking at the horizon and looking beyond some of the chaos that's going to fall within this time period between the summer solstice and the fall equinox. Okay. 9 of Cups, great card. Be happy, be protected, but be happy. 9 of Cups is a beautiful card in this deck. Look at all the evil eyes. It's all about protection. So I feel like as long as you're doing your work and you are standing in your power and you're using your tools and you're looking ahead, you have your eyes on the horizon, you're going to find that you're going to be okay. This is the Star card. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay. There's the Star on the 8 of Cups. All right. So it's going to challenge us. It's going to challenge our mettle, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's going to challenge our mettle. It's going to challenge a lot of people's mettle. And how people react to it, deal with it, work through it, is going to be dependent upon really what some of these things that I'm seeing as potentially happening. Okay. So that's something I want you guys to be aware of. There's a lot that that can happen. You just have to be really careful about your self-talk. You have to be really careful of your overall mindset. And if in your mind you're talking yourself down, I can't do it, this is not right. Is it? Or is it because you're fearful of potentially moving forward or fearful of being pushed outside your comfort zone? Like I said, some people are going to respond to this better than others. People who are energy workers, light workers, whatever you want to call them, are going to find that they are dealing with a lot more strange stuff going on. So what I'm going to say is that if you are an energy worker or a reader or a healer, really come up with a really good plan between now and honestly through the end of the year on what you are going to do to help you with your, not only your personal development, but also your self-care. Because I feel like there's going to be, you're going to be on overdrive. And when we're on overdrive, that's when we have too much going on. And that's when we get sick. And to some degree, sometimes we might find ourselves being pushed to this point because things in the universe want us to, they're trying to knock us out. Because they know that we'll fall for it. They know that we'll take on too much. They know that we'll be all over the place and not necessarily something's going to give, and it's going to be the self-care. So by this potential energy, like I said, some of this energy is great. Some of this energy is that is looking to knock us out and knock us off of our game. Okay? And it's going to happen in a way that's going to be very overwhelming. So come up with a really strong, solid plan on how you're going to take care of yourself. How are you going to work on your personal development through this? How are you going to work on supporting other people when you're going in all 50,000 directions and getting nowhere? Because that energy wants you to do that. So don't fall for that. Like I said, have a plan. You're going to be busy, but have a plan to make sure it incorporates you, the time that you need, your downtime, and your self-healing regimen. And like I said, your development. So this particular period, I think you're really going to need to beef up your boundaries. I feel like you're going to really need to beef up your boundaries around your home, around your loved ones. I also feel like you're going to need to really beef up your boundaries around content that you put out. Right? You may find that there are people that are out there that are trying to kind of challenge you because they can, or they're just being a total you know what. So just be aware of it. But there's a lot of great stuff. I know this, I've been talking about a lot of the yucky stuff, but there's a lot of great stuff that's coming in. Ooh, here's the new journey. You know, you might have some unexpected partnerships. High Priestess. You may find yourself working more with stars, working with energies that maybe are coming in that you might not necessarily have given any energy to before, but now it's coming in. Just do it safely, securely. King of Swords. To me, this screams Merlin. So energetically speaking, Ace of Wands. Be the beacon of light in the dark. Be the weaver. Be the weaver of the story and the energy around us to bring in the positive. Okay. There may very well be some need for shape-shifting. Merlin, as we know, is king of the shapeshifters. So don't be afraid to work with him. Don't be afraid to work with some of the high priestess energy. Don't be afraid to work with some of the ancestral energy. And if there's some modalities that all of a sudden are calling to you, you know, find someone that you trust, that you click with, that can work with you on that, because there are some things that these particular spiritual people are going to be leveling up. Okay. So if you are an energy worker, if you are a light worker, whatever you want to call yourself, there's going to be some leveling up during this. But the only way that you're going to be leveling up during this is if you are really clear and grounded and anchored. You're not going in 50 million directions. You're not taking on too much. And you're keeping your eyes on the horizon. So for me, what I'm going to say is this. If there's something in particular that's dropped in that you feel like you need to investigate more on, like for me, there's a need for me to focus on a couple of things that I want to really kind of start to bring into my practice. I'm not going to say what they are right now. But I'm sure you're going to be seeing them more in my practicing with some of my practice. If there's something that's dropping in and it's in your best interest and it's a whole new modality or something like that, use this opportunity. You know, for me, like I said, there's two that I've actually started working with. But I'm just at the very beginning of the journey, like literally just at the beginning, but I'm very excited about it. Both of them, I should say. Excited about both of them. So, allow that energy to come in for you, because this is part of your leveling up. But if you're all tied up with all of the lower stuff and the chaotic stuff, you're not going to have the bandwidth that you need to bring in the other stuff that wants to come in, that wants to work with you, and that you may not have known that you wanted to work with it, but it's coming forward for you. It could be in a new modality. It could be in a new ascended master. It could be in a new god or goddess. Things like that. Okay. So I hope that helps. I'm going to pull one more card on the bottom of the deck. Seven of Swords. There's your respite card. No, that's Four of Swords. Yeah, that's Four of Swords. So Seven of Swords. Oh, sneaky bastard. So Seven of Swords, it is just be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the energy around you. Keep up your protection. Okay. Hope this helps. Like I said, this is not a deck I usually use, so sometimes it's hard to translate. If you have any questions for either Cindy or myself, let us know. We have all of our different contacts and social media on our link tree, which is Avalon Enchanted. We have the website, avalonenchanted.com. We have the Facebook page, Avalon Enchanted. YouTube is under my name, Tori McNally. We also have Instagram, Avalon Enchanted. Threads. What else? Haven't really started doing anything with TikTok, but I'm hoping that's going to change sooner rather than later. There's going to be something that's coming up with me that I will be rolling out, I feel, very shortly, probably in July. Okay, I'm thinking it's probably going to be mid-July. A new modality that I have been working on that I am super excited about, that ties in a lot of the different loves that I have. It ties in particular, crystals. Okay, so there's a hint. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a special healing type of thing with crystals that can't wait to work with. I literally was just granted the approval, I should say graduation of it, the other day. And one other thing I'm going to say is that the teacher, who I'm going to say is actually very, very well known. The teacher, who is very, very well known, has a lot of different publications, cards, programs, and things that are available internationally. That with some of the work that I had to submit, his assistant said that he was very impressed with my knowledge. So I thought that was kind of nice. And it's interesting because compliments can be kind of hard to take. You know, I've always been the type of person that's like, oh, thank you so very much. I really appreciate hearing that. And I truly do. And, you know, even to sometimes, even to today, You know, I always use the analogy of the graceful swan that looks like it's just kind of gliding on the surface of the water, but paddling like hell underneath, you know? So I thought that was really super nice that that was forwarded to me. And it made me feel definitely good. Um, and this individual, I mean, God, I would love to work with this individual. We'll see what the individual says or doesn't say. But I thought that was very, very nice. And I also thought that um, sometimes when we are on our journey, especially people who've been on the journey for a while, you know, it's funny because ego's a tough thing. You know, you have so many people that are just like all into themselves. And then you have the opposite where you have all these people that are like, are you serious? What? You know, they're scared of their own shadow, but they are basically standing in their power and they're authentic, but they might not necessarily feel like could take credit for it. So in this situation, I kind of feel like a little bit of both, which I feel like I've been doing a lot of hard work on myself over the years. I've been bringing in a lot of different energies to work with that truly want to work with me, and I want to work with it or them. And it's nice to get the confirmation. It's nice to get the appreciation that somebody else recognizes it as well. So what I'm trying to say is if you are a light worker, if you are a reader, whatever it is, and you have someone that says that, you know, they're impressed with some of the things that you do, take the compliment. Um, you know, keep on moving forward, but take the compliment and know that that compliment is coming from a place of sincerity. So just thought I'd share that. All right, folks, I gotta go because I'm fading fast. I gotta go. I'm tired. This has been a lot. So I think I started at 3. That's a lot. So take care. And if you have any questions, hit us up. Okay, bye.